Goodbye. Goodbye, little help from my friends. Gonna try for my friends, yeah.
Does anybody know where Bev Lankilby is?
Go to the center of the building. So like
Can you do another song? Okay, we're going to do another song, Waiting for Bev.
I think we have a request. It's just cheese.
They're very easygoing. You want to? No, I was people going to take away. I want
Can we get a viva?
Viva!
You guys were awesome for doing this today and standing up for what you believe in. So let's hear you sing your lungs out here, because we want our lions to sleep peacefully at night. We want them to hunt. We want them to live in natural environments. We want them to feed. We want them to have lots of opportunities to mate and have lion cubs. I want to come back as a lion.
Oh, let me hear you roar.
Roar. So let's hear you. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Now listen, the men go, a whim away, 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 yeah. And the ladies, what do the ladies do to? this from the crowd. Come on, you white people, you can do it too.
Hello everybody. Wow. Thank you very, very much for being here. I don't know what's happened to Beverly and Kilda. I think she went looking for a loo. I'm very sorry about the confusion in the beginning of this march. But anyway, the South African police have agreed to take responsibility, and therefore the IFP have marched behind us and joined us. It's very nice that they are taking an interest, and we hope to see very good things coming from that sector, because we desperately do need help, don't we? Our wildlife in general is in terrible danger, and the sad thing about it is that it's not just the wildlife; it's the whole conservation. The whole area of conservation in this country, which, if you're an oldie like me, used to be a very preservative, protective type of conservation, has now become what they call sustainable utilization, or it pays. If it's going to stay, it has to pay. Now, do you think that our beautiful, iconic wildlife have to pay if they want to stay? No! No, we don't. We believe that it's part of the African culture, the beautiful African felt. Okay, it's a bit too late now. We've agriculturalized it and we've popularized it, but at least we can put our great parks aside and keep them sacrosanct. Don't you think so? Yes. They must not be, as it is right now, the subject of mining interests and even land claims. Guys, there's lots of land in this country. Lots of land. Most of the land in this country belongs to the government. Don't take the game reserves. Go and ask the government for land that does not belong or is put aside for a game reserve. Now, I'm very sorry. I think it's fantastic. We've got such a fantastic turnout. But you know, I don't know how we got it, because we got very little help from the media, because the media is also part of that system with the corporations, and it's all to do with big bucks and trade. We do not want to see our endangered wildlife traded, do we? No! No. And what about the money? Exactly. A couple of weeks ago, the Dutch lottery donated to this country 232 million rand, and they specified that it must be for the degradation of rhino horn. In other words, rhino horn treatments, so that it takes away the motivation to poach rhinos. We will wait and see if this is where the money is allocated. And then this week, I think yesterday in the newspaper, we see that Howard Buffett is here from America with another 230 million rand. And where is that money going to go?
Transparency.
Transparency, that's what we want, don't we? But we don't get it because, well, for instance, the conservation group, the body that rules conservation here in KZN, has a secrecy clause for its employees. So I don't think we're going to see much transparency there. What else? Okay, today we're going to speak about lions. And lions, one of the things you've got to realize is when you read something in the newspaper, you know the old story, do not believe what you're reading. We get told, for instance, that there's something like 20,000 rhinos in this country and that there's so many lions in this country, but actually, you know, they don't know. They don't actually do proper censuses. They base their figures on extrapolated figures and outdated censuses. So I think one of the things we need to do in this country is to get a very accurate census of our wildlife. Can we do that? Can we have that? Yeah. Okay. Okay, and then the lions, the poor lions. What happened to the lions is that they fell in between the cracks. Obviously, once upon a time they were cared for. They fell under the legislation of the Department of Environment. But then, somewhere around about the late 80s or the 90s, a new phenomenon happened in this country, and that is wildlife ranching and farming. And I think basically it was like a niche career choice for people that knew they were going to be no longer have government jobs. Hello?
Traders, not conservationists.
Yeah, they're traders, not conservationists, but anyway. So these guys have now, they call themselves predator breeders, and they have started breeding lions. But why are they doing this? Okay, first of all, when a little baby cub is born, within a few days it's taken away from its mother and it's hand-reared by volunteers who come from overseas on a fun trip, sort of a gap year experience, and they pay a lot of money for that privilege. Then, when the cubs start losing their cuteness, they are then put into gimmicky tourist initiatives like Walk with the Lions and that type of thing, until they get maybe a bit frisky and, you know, scratch a tourist or something. And then they are taken back to the farm where a couple of things can happen to them. They can be they can be used for breeding, or they can be used for hunting, canned lion hunting, or otherwise they don't actually care what happens to the surplus, because as soon as it's dead, they then sell it for another $1,000 to the Chinese to make lion bone wine. So can you see, from birth to death, that lion is cruelly exploited. So basically, this is something that we want to stop. Do we want to stop this?
Yes!
Is this how we want to see our king of the jungle living?
No!
Have you seen the photographs of them behind cages, cruelly drugged sometimes, brought under control? The female lions, as I say, when the cubs are taken away from her, this forces her into estrus, and she basically breeds continuously until she's exhausted.
Michael, sorry.
Oh, that's okay, because now we've got lion bones for the lion bone wine. Anyway, folks, so that's basically the story of lions in our country, and it's called South Africa's shame. Do you want to be ashamed?
No!
No, we don't want to be ashamed of our conservation bodies, what they're doing. So please join Facebook groups. Thank you for coming on a march like this. Sorry guys, I'm talking to them and I should be talking to everyone. And sign petitions. I know it's a bit boring when you see another petition coming along, and some of them are really silly, but use your discretion, sign a good petition, and just please remember that lions belong to you. The wild lions belong to us. They are our lions. The government only has custodianship over them. So whatever happens to those lions is actually your fault. Do you understand? Whose fault is it? Not so loud now, hey? Yeah, so step up, take responsibility, and do something. Help us. Help us. You know what we need to do? We need to change legislation, okay? We work with the current government. We pressure them to please to improve the laws that govern lions, and to not support these touristy initiatives. I personally have been to one of them and I thoroughly enjoyed myself until I realized, sorry Bev, it's too late, until I realized that, what's behind it. So anyway, I don't think our councillor turned up. No, we don't. Is that the councillor? Come on, Logie Naidu. Where have you been hiding? We're not real live lions. So, Councillor, you heard what I had to say. Would you like to add a few words to that?
Well, thank you very much for this privilege and honor to address you on behalf of Mayor James Numalo and the eThekwini municipality. We must commend you for this initiative, for this march to raise the level of awareness on this very important issue of our wildlife. Our lions, our rhinos, all of our livestock must be preserved and protected. They are our natural assets, they belong to the nation, and we must ensure that we get rid of this commercialization, the hunting and the payment of monies, etc. We are 100% behind you in this campaign to save the lions, as we are fully committed also in the campaign to protect our rhinos. You know, at one time, the rhino population was almost extinct. And it was initiatives by great people like Sir Ian Player and others who helped to restore the stock of rhinos in our parks. But all we have today now, having done so much good work, there are people that come and kill and poach the rhinos, the lions, and these are all beautiful animals, God's creations that we have a responsibility and a duty to protect. So well done on your march today. Congratulations. Keep up the good work that you're doing. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. Thank you very much. I just wanted to congratulate you on a fantastic municipality. Do you know that this march I'd had nothing but help all the way through until this morning when they told me that I couldn't march. And then, of course, I nearly had a cadenza. But anyway, finally we sorted that problem out, and I must say that I'm so proud of living in Durban. I love Durban, and Durban rocks. Durban rocks for lions. And here's a small gift, Councillor. It's melted in the sun. But it's something nice for your office. It's actually a cheetah, a statuette of a cheetah. I couldn't get a lion, but anyway, it's close.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor.
I have to declare this as a gift. Thank you.
Okay, and then the next thing that we're going to do is, what is next on the agenda? Does anybody know what the agenda? No, I think it's Mariana with a poem, and then it's Ian Robinson. I can't wait. Mariana. Mariana will explain to you that this whole global march that is being held today from Auckland right through to Hawaii and to Los Angeles, Europe, Edinburgh, 8 marches in London converging on Trafalgar Square today. Hong Kong, very brave people. India, South America, Portugal, Spain, France.
Belgium, Germany, England.
Everybody's marching for the lions today. And this was actually conceived by, after the Elephant March last October, was conceived by a young lady called Christine Jordan, who I think you know by now that I'm very angry with, but anyway. Mariana's going to read, she's a brilliant poet, and Mariana's going to read one of Christine's poems now for us. Thank you, Mariana.
Thank you, everybody. Please can I ask you just to stand for a minute. I want us all here today to stand for our lions in a moment of silence, as is happening all over the world right now, for our lions. Let's bow our heads. Think of all the lions that have been slain and all the lions that are now waiting. 1,000 of them a year in cages to be killed for money and a trophy. Thank you. Okay, one more thing. I want to hear a loud roar from this crowd today. Can we do it? 1, 2, 3. Roar! Thank you. You people have been absolutely awesome. Thank you from coming from all over Durban to be with us today for our Lions. Thank you for the IFP for joining us. Thank you for everybody here today. We're here for our Lions. Thank you. Now, very brief, because I know it's hot and you all want to go. Okay. Christine was living in Mozambique when she dreamt up the Lion March to raise awareness and give the caged ones a voice. We desperately need the will to know about the horror and keep the pressure on governments to stop it. From banning the hunting of captive bred animals to importing the trophies and export the lion bones. That is from Christine. Now I'm going to read you her poem. Today, somewhere, another roar has been silenced by bullet or deadly bow, and a betrayed spirit departed to wherever the wild ones go. Today, somewhere, an executioner has hung up his weapon of death, boasted his tale of a bloody kill, and his victim's last agonizing breath. Today, somewhere, another heart has broken, and bitter, despairing tears wept, and a plea to the sacred poured out to the night, drifting up to the angels where wishes are kept. In springtime last year, I had a vision that the king's stag was standing on a lonely high peak, so faithfully in the midst of magic, so patiently, hurting with the tragic, waiting for us to grow into heroes. And in our thousands we gathered before him and knelt in fervent prayer that the light would descend down to earth and live in every mind here. With 1,000 sighs of the wind and in a beat of the earth's wise heart, the tears of outraged love are carving out a new path. The hands of the heroes have reached across the cultures, the colors, the divide, to fight the horror, the twisted, the sick, of the lions bred to die. Thank you, and thank you, Christine Jordan. Thank you.
Well, we found Bev. She had a bit of a bad turn. Bev's now going to say a few words. Thanks, Bev.
No doubt some of you already know who I am, but I will introduce myself. Good afternoon. My name is Beverly Lankilder. I'm from the Tourism Tatler Trade Journal, just one of the many media partners of the Global March for Lions. It's my pleasure to be here today. Okay, there are many people and wildlife conservation organizers who have contributed to making the Durban March for Lions as successful as it is. And the special mention must go to Christine Jordan, who initiated this Durban March, to Margot Wilson of Wild and Free, and the convener of this march. Stewart. My apologies, Christine Stewart. My husband made an error in this, can you believe it? He's so dead when I get home. And to Chris Mercer and Bev Perveen of the campaign against canned hunting, whose dedication and perseverance has led to the Global March for Lions initiative. But without your active participation here today, this march would not have been possible, and I thank you all for taking the time to attend this. Let's hear a roar from you. As you probably are aware, today's march has taken place globally, and we have been joined by millions of active supporters over 61 cities around the world to make a stand against the cruel practice of canned hunting of captive bred lions in South Africa. Our unified call to action is stated in the Global March for Lions Memorandum of Protection, documented and pertinent to points of which are the South African government. We want you to bring canned hunting of lions and other captive bred predators in South Africa to an end. Pass legislation in similar terms to SARTI's decision 14.69, banning the farming of lions for sale in their body parts. To SARTI's, include lions with the other big cats listed in the epoxy 1 category of CITES to have all commercial trade in lions banned and criminalized. To the EU Commission, stop pandering to the hunting fraternity, ban the import of lion trophies. To the US Fishery and Wildlife, raise the status of lions to endangered. So our message to the world is this: forget sustainable use. It has become sustainable abuse. Start protecting and preserving our wildlife.